we are at what was described as the ultimate rock and roll pad by the Chicago Tribune. This was Ringo Starr's purchased this apartment in 1965. He purchased, it was the ground floor and the basement, and he lived here with Maureen, and this was Zach's first home. Now, after Ringo moved out, he let Paul McCartney use the apartment. Paul McCartney recorded down in the studios down there. This is where Eleanor Rigby was finished. After Paul moved out, in came the storm and the hurricane of Jimi Hendrix and Chas Chandler with their girlfriends Kathy Mary Etchingham and Lotta. And Jimmy painted the apartment black, worshipped the occult, made a noise. The neighbours complained to Ringo. He had to get rid of Jimmy and Chas. The next people to move in were the Full, who were in charge of the Apple boutique in Baker Street. And then when they moved out, John and Yoko in 1968 moved in. Now this, if you look just through there, this is where the famous full frontal view picture was taken. It became the Unfinished Music Volume 1, better known as the Two Virgins album. Sir Joe Lockwood, the chairman of EMI, phoned John and said, "What the hell are you doing? That picture is just revolting." He said, "You could have at least got Paul to do it or used a statue from the park." Soon after this, a few weeks after this, John got the album published by the Who's record company, publishing company, Track. It was sold in brown paper bags to cover the picture. Now, a few weeks after this, the apartment got busted by Sergeant Norman Pilcher and his squad, and John was done for possession of cannabis, was tried in Marylebone Magistrates Court, was found guilty. He pleaded guilty to try and get Yoko off the hook, because Yoko would have been deported, and he was fined £500. £500 is not a lot for a Beatle, but this came back to haunt John when he went to the USA in 1971. He had trouble getting a visa, and it haunted him for about 10 years. Now, if you look at the plaque just up here, Yoko unveiled this plaque in 2010. There are a lot of people here to celebrate.
Thank you very much. Have a great day, and I love you very much.
I've often wondered the classics John would have written in the last 40 years. I'm sure there would have been several, as he was a rock and roll genius.
As we see, I've got some nice pictures here. Jimi Hendrix leaning against the wall here. Ringo and Paul coming down by this fence here. John and Yoko. Jimi Hendrix here. Also, a famous picture of Jimi Hendrix on that, leaning against the fence over there. And the Montague Place sign was originally on the fence. They had to put it up behind the wall there.